What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing my way too early 2024 NASCAR Cup Series driver lineup predictions. We'll go through all the full-time entries and all the part-time entries for 2024. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to start off with the one car for Trackhouse Racing. While nothing's been confirmed for Trackhouse Racing past 2023, I would anticipate that Ross Chastain, who is in a contract here in 2023, is going to get re-signed. Ross Chastain has been extremely successful at Trackhouse Racing, and in 2023, I expect that Ross Chastain is going to bring enough success to keep the ride long-term throughout the rest of his career. Plus, Justin Marks is a big fan of Ross, so Ross Chastain will be in the one car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 2-car for Team Penske. This one's already been pretty much confirmed. Austin Hendrick will be in the 2-car for Team Penske in 2024. The big reason is because Austin Hendrick is the son of the president of Team Penske. Austin Hendrick also a very talented driver. In 2023, I'm expecting major improvement from Austin Hendrick consistency-wise. I think it's one win in 2023, but I think he's going to get better as a driver, and I think he'll progress heading into 2024 as well. Up next, we're talking about the 3-car for Richard Childress Racing. This one's already been confirmed. Austin Dillon will be in the 3-car for Richard Childress Racing in 2024. Because Austin Dillon confirmed when it was announced that Kyle Busch would be driving the 8-car for Richard Childress Racing, it was announced that Austin Dillon would also have a contract through 2025. And Austin Dillon, let's be honest, is going to finish his career with Richard Childress Racing. And then eventually, I think he's going to become an executive at Richard Childress Racing when Richard Childress decides to leave the team eventually and retire from basically being owner. He'll probably let Austin Dillon and Mike Dillon run the flagship, but Austin Dillon will be in the 3-car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 4-car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Obviously, going into 2023, I'm anticipating that it will be Kevin Harvick's final season. Kevin Harvick at the start of 2023 will be 47 years of age, and by the end of the year, he'll be 48. So, someone's going to have to replace him because the next year will be his last year. Well, I think someone who's actually driving for Stewart-Haas Racing in 2023, that being Ryan Preece, is going to move away from the 41 car, but transition to drive the number 4 car. Ryan Preece is part of the KHI management group, and I think that's going to play a major factor into why Ryan Preece is going to be driving the 4 car in 2024. They're going to keep him long term. Tony Stewart wants to keep him and give him an opportunity, and I think the big reason is because of the fact that Ryan Preece is an extremely talented driver. I think he takes the flagship number 4 car in 2024. Up next, we'll talk about the 5-car for Hendrick Motorsports. This one's already been confirmed for 2024 already. Kyle Larson, about a few months ago, announced a multi-year contract extension with Hendrick Motorsports through the 2026 season. I'm expecting Kyle Larson in 2023 to continue to put up incredible and great performances as a driver in this organization, be a championship threat, and I think he's going to have a really good chance to improve, and it'll be for sure in the 5-car once again in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 6-car for RFK Racing. This one's already been confirmed. Brad Keselowski is likely to be back in the 6-car for RFK Racing in 2024. While Brad Keselowski will be 40 years of age at the end of the 2024 season, Brad Keselowski, I think, is going to be around for at least the next few years, trying to make RFK Racing a much more stronger and a better organization, which I think he's going to be able to accomplish that and be able to do that. Keselowski is a talented driver and will make RFK Racing a better organization in the next few years. Up next, we're talking about the 7-car for Spire Motorsports. While nothing is confirmed past 2023 for Spire Motorsports, I would think that Corey LaJoie is going to continue driving the 7-car for the organization. Corey's a very talented driver, and I'm also expecting some pretty big improvements from Spire Motorsports in 2023. That's going to help the team going into 2024 and help the organization out. So I think that Corey LaJoie will continue driving the 7-car in 2024. Up next, we'll talk about the 8-car for Richard Childress Racing. This one's been pretty much confirmed. Kyle Busch is for sure going to be in the 8-car for Richard Childress Racing in 2024. In fact, I think Kyle Busch is going to finish his career with Richard Childress Racing. At the start of 2024, Kyle Busch will be 38 years old. In 2023, I expect Kyle Busch also get a few victories with their RCR group, be an outside championship contender, and actually be a legit championship contender in 2024. I also think about at this point he'll have a few more victories and make Richard Childress Racing a much stronger organization, where I know, though, that Kyle Busch will be in the 8-car in 2024. Up next, we'll talk about the 9-car for Hendrick Motorsports. This one's already been confirmed. Chase Elliott will be in the 9 car at least through the 2027 season. And I would anticipate that Chase Elliott is probably going to get another ascension in the next couple seasons, probably around 2025 or 2026. Chase Elliott is a generational talent, a NASCAR Hall of Famer already at this point, and already a champion in this series. I think by the time his contract gets done, he'll already have 1 or 2 more championships in this series, but we know he'll be in the 9 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Now, there are some questions around the 10 car heading into 2024 because Eric Almirola signed a multi-year extension. However, some people are indicating they only got a 1-year extension, with the second year being an option year for him to run. I think Eric Almirola, though, is going to return in 2024 to drive the 10 car. We're going to bring in the sponsorship and money from Smithfield, which I don't think Smithfield wants to be associated with any other driver, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But when you want to associate with a driver, you're going to want that driver to stay committed. And if Eric Almirola leaves, Smithfield is probably leaving. So I think that Eric Almirola returns in 2024, but I think 2024 will be the last year for Eric Almirola in the Cup Series. Up next, we'll talk about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. There's also a bit of uncertainty around the 11 car because it's been expected that FedEx's contract ends in 2023. However, I think that FedEx is going to have a renewal with Joe Gibbs Racing. I think things will actually get done. I know some people think they're not going to get done, but I think there's a good chance that FedEx will re-sign actually with Joe Gibbs Racing. And I think that Denny Hamlin is going to end up re-signing and driving for the team once again in 2024. Denny Hamlin also will be near the end of his career, and he's going to be past his prime in the Cup Series, but Denny Hamlin's still going to be a solid driver regardless, and he'll continue driving the 11 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 12 car for Team Penske. This one's already confirmed. Ryan Blaney will be in the 12th car at least for the foreseeable future, as back in September or August, Ryan Blaney announced a multi-year and long-term contract extension actually with Team Penske. When your driver's done as good as Ryan Blaney, while he did not win in 2022, well, except the All-Star race technically, he was very consistent. And I think in 2023, he's going to get back to victory lane, winning multiple races with the organization. Ryan Blaney is a solid driver and will continue driving the 12 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 13 car for MBM Motorsports. Now, I'm expecting MBM Motorsports to be a 2-car organization in 2024 once again. They're going to enter 2 cars in Daytona in 2024 and have Timmy Hill driving the 13 car. Timmy Hill's been a loyal driver with the organization for a very, very long time, really since the mid-2010s, and will continue being a loyal driver to the organization. I think he'll be the only driver of this 13 car. This one won't be a full-time entry, but this one will be the enter a few races with Timmy Hill behind the wheel. Up next, we're talking about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. This one's already been confirmed at this point. Chase Briscoe will continue driving a 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing through 2024. Chase Briscoe, very talented driver, had a great year in 2022. And with Dodge not coming back to NASCAR anytime soon, that's the thing I was worried about because Chase Briscoe is a Ford-based driver. That I was worried that Chase Briscoe was going to lose his ride. Pace Briscoe, though, is a driver expect to improve, though I don't think he makes the playoffs in 2023, but I think there's a good chance he absolutely does make it in 2024. I think he's very, very solid, though, and he will continue driving the 14 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 15 car for Ware Racing. Even a few years down the line, I think Ware Racing is still going to be a 2-car organization. And they're going to have multiple drivers driving the 15 car. I think Joey Hand's going to continue driving this 15 car. I think Garrett Smithley is going to continue having opportunities to drive 15 car. We know that he'll be in the 78 car for Beach McLeod Motorsports on a full-time basis in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I also think drivers like Joey Gates are going to get an opportunity to drive the 15, but we'll see multiple drivers in the 15 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 16 car for Kaulig Racing. While nothing's confirmed past 2023 for AJ Allmendinger, I think AJ is going to come back in 2024 to drive the 16 car. AJ's getting an opportunity to return to the Cup Series in 2023, but I think that with the success he has had and with how much talent he has now and how much of competitive equipment he has now, I think he's going to be a really solid driver in the Cup Series. So I think AJ will come back to the Cup Series and drive the 16 car again in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 17 car for RFK Racing. Well, nothing's been confirmed past 2023. I believe Chris Buescher has signed a multi-year contract extension to continue driving the 17 car, so he should be in the 17 car in 2024. Chris Buescher, the driver that I think is going to be extremely solid in the Cup Series in 2023 and also 2024, especially Brad Zossi coming in to be an owner of the organization. I really think that's going to play a major factor in helping out a driver like Chris Buescher heading into next season and also in 2024 as well, and keep Chris Buescher in the organization long term. Up next, we're talking about the 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, obviously, going into 2023, the 18 car will not be in the Cup Series. The reason being, the 54 car will be run for Ty Gibbs in 2024. But in 2023, I believe that is going to be Martin Truex Jr.'s final season. I think the 19 car is actually going to go away at the end of 2023. And I think that John Hunter Nemechek, who's expected to potentially drive the 19 car in the Xfinity Series, is going to replace Martin Truex Jr. in the 18 car. John Hunter Nemechek is a very talented driver and a driver who's performed at a really, really strong rate throughout his entire career. So I think that we'll see him continue being in the Cup Series, get back to the Cup Series on a full-time scale, and be full-time with Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. This one's already been confirmed. Chris Bell will be driving the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Chris Bell signed a multi-year contract extension with the team a few months ago. Really, at the beginning of the year, that kind of got overshadowed. No one really talked about with all the other contract stuff going on with drivers like Kyle Busch. But Chris Bell is a very, very good driver who I'm expecting to perform at a very, very strong rate once again. And I think he'll continue being a very excellent driver and bring excellence to Joe Gibbs Racing and really help out the organization long term and be a championship threat as well. Up next, we're talking about the 21 car for the Wood Brothers. While nothing is confirmed past 2023 for the Wood Brothers organization, Harrison Burton will be in the car in 2023. And I think Harrison Burton is a long-term project, so I don't think they're going to give up on Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton, I think, is a very, very talented driver, just has to get a little more confidence in himself, which I think will show a little more confidence in 2023 in the Cup Series, with next year being his second full-time season in his sophomore year. He's got to start showing some improvement, and I think he's going to be able to improve in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 22 car for Team Penske. This has already been confirmed. Joey Logano has signed a multi-year contract extension with Team Penske to continue driving the team long term. Joey Logano also is coming off of winning the Cup Series championship in 2022. So he'll be looking in 2023 to continue those stats, and I think that will play a factor in helping him heading into 2024 as well as a driver, as he's starting to get a little bit older as a driver, as he'll be 34 by the end of 2024. Logano, though, will continue driving the 22 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 23 car for 23XI Racing. This one's already been confirmed. Bubba Wallace is going to drive the 23 car in 2024. Bubba Wallace has a multi-year contract extension currently with the 23XI Racing camp. Now, he had a contract through 2023, but I would assume it's through 2024 or 2025. 2023, I expect to be a pretty big year for Bubba Wallace. I think he's going to really step up to the plate, and I think he's going to win multiple races in 2023. And I think by 2024, we might be looking at Bubba Wallace as a legitimate championship contender. He's a driver that's shown a lot of pace and a lot of improvement as a race car driver. I really think that's going to play a factor in helping Bubba Wallace heading into 2023 and also into 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports. This one's already confirmed. William Byron signed a multi-year contract extension to continue driving Hendrick Motorsports in the 24 car through at least the 2025 season. Now, at some particular point, you're going to be expecting William Byron to start being a legit championship contender and start showing a lot more pace than he has. But I think he's going to be able to do that. William Byron's a driver that's really still kind of younger. I think he's only, like 25 or 26 years old. Clearly, he's a younger driver who's got so much potential to really show what he's got. And I think 2023, he'll step up in the consistency side of things, and we'll see him continue driving the 24 car in 2024 as well. Up next, we're talking about the 26 car for Team Hezeberg. In 2022, Team Hezeberg entered 2 cars at Watkins Glen and also at the Indianapolis Road Course. Now, I think in 2024, they're going to continue doing the same thing. Now, in 2024, the 26 car is going to be a part-time entry, but enter more races. I think that Danny Kvyat is going to drive this car. Danny Kvyat's been making select starts in the Cup Series in 2022. I think that they're going to want to bring him back. Not only that, I think Team Hezeberg is going to be a much faster organization by 2024 and be a lot more consistent as an organization as well. Danny Kvyat makes a return. Up next, we're talking about the 27 car for Team Hezeberg. In 2024, I expect Team Hezeberg by this point to have a full-time entry with Larice Hasemans. Larice Hasemans is a very talented driver who came from the Whelen Euro Series, who made select Cup Series starts, but they kind of struggled in most select starts. I expect them to take some major steps going forward in the 2024 season to try to improve. They're probably going to get better motors by 2023 as well, but I would anticipate that we're going to see them enter in multiple races in 2024. And full-time for Larice Hasemans. Up next, we're talking about the 30 car for 3F Racing. 3F Racing is expected to enter around 10 races in 2023, and they're expected to have multiple drivers. Rumors indicate that it's going to be Justin Allgaier and Kaz Gralla, who are going to make select starts for the organization. And I think in 2024, the same thing is going to happen. I think they're going to be looking at Allgaier and Gralla to be potential drivers for the team, and I think that is going to continue to be the case in 2024. So I expect that those will be the two drivers once again in 2024 in a 3F Racing car. Up next, we're talking about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing. This one's been pretty much confirmed. Justin Haley, I expect to continue driving the 31 car in 2024. I also think with AJ Allmendinger coming on to race full-time in 2023, I think that is really going to help out Justin Haley a lot as a race car driver. So I do think that Justin Haley is going to really, really improve as a driver in this series, and I expect that he will continue driving the number 31 car in 2024 and be very, very successful. Up next, we're talking about the 33 car for Richard Childress Racing. Now, 33 car made its return to the Cup Series. The third RCR car made its return to Cup Series for the first time in many, many years, really about 4 or 5 seasons, with Austin Hill behind the wheel. There's a lot of rumors and rumors that that 33 car could once again enter in 2023. I think you're going to enter this car for sure in 2024 with their 2 Xfinity Series drivers, Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. Well, Sheldon Creed signed a contract extension to drive for the team in 2023. I think Austin Hill also, who will make in select starts with Beard Motorsports as well in 2023, will also get some starts in this 33 car. Both drivers, very talented drivers in Xfinity, and I expect to be championship threats, and we'll get to have an opportunity to race in Cup in 2024 more often as well. Up next, we're talking about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports. While nothing really gets confirmed from the Front Row Motorsports camp, I would anticipate that Michael McDowell is going to continue driving the 34 car through 2024. Now, I think 2024 is going to be the last year for Michael McDowell in the Cup Series, at least on a full-time basis. By the end of 2024, Michael McDowell, I believe, is going to be 40 years of age. And I think that he's going to want to eventually hang up the helmet and retire from full-time racing. Now, I do think in 2025, he'll come back and run some part-time starts, but I think he will want to spend time with his family, do some sports car racing as well. So I think next year, not next year, but 2024 will be the last full-time season for Michael McDowell. He'll drive the 34 car. Up next, we're talking about the 36 car for Front Row Motorsports. While nothing's confirmed for the third Front Row car, I think that they're actually going to run this car mostly full-time and bring Zane Smith up to run. Zane Smith will be making select Cup starts in 2023. I think in 2024, they're going to continue doing that with Zane Smith. Zane Smith, very talented driver, won the 2022 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship and will be looking to defend in the Craftsman Truck Series in 2023. And will also race in 5 to 6 Cup Series races, including the Daytona 500. So Zane Smith will continue driving that, and I think in 2024, he will do the same thing. Up next, we're talking about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports. While nothing's confirmed past 2023 or even for 2023 at this time, I would anticipate that Todd Gillen is going to continue driving the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports. Todd Gillen, very talented driver who I expect to improve in 2023 on a very slight scale, just because I don't think the equipment is always up to par and always up to speed. However, I think that Gillen is going to continue to impress and improve, and I think he will do a good job as he continues to try to improve to help the Front Row Motorsports camp in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Obviously, in 2023, Cole Custer will be jumping out of the Cup Series to drive the 00 car in Xfinity for Stewart-Haas Racing. I think in 2024, though, Cole Custer is going to make a return to drive the 41 car. So I think Cole Custer makes a return to the Cup Series. Cole Custer's getting a second chance by driving a 00 in Xfinity, but I think he'll get a second chance to drive in the Cup Series once again With him being the son of executive of the organization, Joe Custer, it makes a lot of sense for him to eventually come back to Cup, and I think he will make a return to drive the 41 car in 2024. He's a good driver, very talented driver as well, and will continue driving that car. We'll actually go back to drive that car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 42 car for Petty GMS Motorsports. I'm not expecting any changes past 2023. I think Noah Gragson is going to continue driving the 42 car in 2024. Noah Gragson's first full-time rookie season in Cup, I think, is going to be very interesting to see how he does. So I think Petty GMS is a team that's on the up and up. He's also got a great crew chief in Luke Lambert, who I really think is going to help him out. And I think that's really going to play a factor into helping Noah Gragson in 2024. So I think that in 2024, he'll be in the Cup Series once again and drive that 42 car, continue driving for a lot of his career. Up next, we're talking about the 43 car for Petty GMS Motorsports. This one's been pretty much confirmed. Eric Jones is going to continue driving the 43 car for Petty GMS Motorsports in 2024 as Eric Jones signed a multi-year contract extension with the team, I believe in late September or early October. Eric Jones, very talented driver. I think by this point, 2024, we could see him winning multiple races. I've already got him winning Talladega in 2023. But I think with the more experience he's gotten, the better driver he actually has become. And I think he will continue being a great ambassador for the team as he continues driving for Petty GMS Motorsports in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 44 car for Petty GMS Motorsports. Now, obviously, there is going to be a third car at the Petty GMS group, and I think they're going to run the 44 car. While that has not been confirmed, they're probably going to run the 44 car. I think that Jimmy Johnson is going to continue running select Cup races in the 44 car and make select Cup starts. I also think other drivers, maybe like a Greg Biffle perhaps, could come back and drive for Petty GMS Motorsports, which would be interesting because he drove for Richard Petty Motorsports or Petty Enterprises back in 2002. I think that we'll see Jimmy Johnson run and Greg Biffle run the 44 cars in 2024. Yes, Greg Biffle will be 55 years of age, but I think Biffle loves racing and still continues to race to this day. Up next, we're talking about the 45 car for 23XI Racing. This one's already been confirmed. Todd Reddick will continue driving the 45 car in 2024. This is actually originally supposed to be initial year. We were going to see Todd Reddick drive the 45 car, but in 2023, he's jumping over there and basically as Kurt Busch unfortunately is retiring from full-time racing. Todd Reddick's driver, I'm expecting big things from heading into 2023, and I think he's going to only continue to improve and become more of a championship driver in the 2024 year in the 45 car. He'll continue driving the 45 in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 47 car for JTG Doherty Racing. This has already been confirmed. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back in late June, early July at the National Weekend announced a multi-year contract extension from the team. So we know that Stenhouse will continue driving the 47 car. Stenhouse is really going to have to step it up to the plate, though, as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in his mid-30s. He's getting a little bit up there in age, and Stenhouse really hasn't been too impressive with JTG Doherty, but I think JTG Doherty is not the fastest organization to roll, so I can't really put it all on Stenhouse as much as the organization as a whole. I'm going to need Stenhouse to step it up to the plate, and hopefully he'll be able to do that with Mike Kelly in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports. Now, 2023 is going to be a contract year for Alex Bowman. But I think that Alex Bowman is going to actually step it up to the plate and be very solid. Now, shockingly, I don't have him making the playoffs in 2023. Did that in the video yesterday. I've been a lot of you shocked, surprised by that, but I don't have Alex Bowman making the playoffs. However, though, I think Alex Bowman is going to be a very solid driver in the Cup Series, and I think that LA will sign a contract extension with the organization, and also I think this will get Bowman at least a 2 to 3 year extension, and will continue driving the 48 car in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 50 car for the Money Team Racing. Now, with 2023, I expect the Money Team to be a little bit more competitive up front. Also expected to run a few more races as well. And in 2024, they're going to be more of a full-time team. Now, Connor Daly, I think, is going to run select starts for the team. And I think that Anthony Alfredo, who is running the Xfinity Series and more likely will be returning to our Motorsports in 2023, I think he will get more Cup starts in 2024. Anthony Alfredo, who has had Cup Series experience as well, a very, very good driver. So I think that they're going to split the ride between Connor Daly and Anthony Alfredo and run a majority of the season. Up next, we're talking about the 51 car for Ware Racing. This has pretty much always been confirmed. Cody Ware anticipate being in the 51 car in 2024. Cody Ware, a solid driver in my opinion, had a major improvement from 2021 to 2022. And I think he'll do that from 2022 to 2023. I think Cody Ware is going to improve as a race car driver. Cody Ware is a good driver, and hopefully he'll continue to improve and help Ware Racing in 2024. Up next, we're going to talk about the 61 car for Kaulig Racing. Yes, I think Kaulig Racing is actually going to expand to a 3-car operation in 2023 and 4 in the Cup Series. Now, this 61 car will be the drivers in the Xfinity Series, that being Chandler Smith, Daniel Hemrick, and Landon Castle. These 3 drivers, very, very talented drivers in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. All 3 will be vying for the Xfinity Series Championship in 2023 and also in 2024, because I really think that these are going to be the drivers that are going to perform, and they will get some Cup Series starts once again in 2024. Hemrick and Castle have had Cup experience. Chandler Smith hasn't. I think that changes. I think Chandler Smith gets Cup experience in 2024 with Kaulig Racing. Up next, we're talking about the 62 car for Beard Motorsports. Well, I think nothing is confirmed for Beard Motorsports past 2023. I think they're going to continue driving in 2024, and they're going to bring Austin Hill back. Now, Beard Motorsports entering a lot of races in 2023. They're entering all the super speed races and also going to run at Michigan and the Chicago Street Course as well, which is a really cool and awesome addition for the team. Austin Hill, very talented driver, like I mentioned, with the 33 car. I think he's going to bring a lot to the plate and be a major asset to the team, help Beard Motorsports be a more competitive organization. Up next, we're talking about the 66 car for MBM Motorsports. Well, nothing is confirmed for MBM. I would anticipate that J.J. Yeley, who I expect to return to their Xfinity Series program in 2023, J.J. Yeley, I think will be in the 66 car. I think that J.J. Yeley is a very, very solid driver nowadays. He used to be a NASCAR bus for Joe Gibbs Racing, but ever since leaving Joe Gibbs Racing, I think he's actually been a very solid driver. So I think that J.J. Yeley will drive a 66 car, and maybe somehow they get Borset out of retirement once again and let him run a select cup race or two in the 66 car. Up next, we're talking about the 77 car for Spire Motorsports. While nothing is confirmed for Spire Motorsports for 2024, Ty Dillon's going to be in their car in 2023. I think that Ty Dillon is going to continue driving this car in 2024. I think Spire is going to make him feel welcome at home. I don't think they're going to fire him like Petty GMS did in 2022 near the middle portion, near the end of portion of the year. And I think that we're going to see Ty Dillon get this 77 car once again and drive it. He's going to have to step up to the plate by 2024 because I think he's got a multi-year deal with the organization. But I anticipate that we're going to see some good things from Ty Dillon. Hopefully he can make the 77 car an improved team by this point. Up next, we're talking about the 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports. While nothing is confirmed for Live Fast Motorsports past 2023, there's a lot of rumors and rumors at this particular moment that they may be switching manufacturers and switching to a different brand and a new alliance. I think in 2024, Josh Williams and BJ McLeod are going to be the drivers. Josh Williams, who I believe will be back at DGM next year more than likely, and BJ, who is the owner of the organization. I think it's going to be very similar to last year, and I think those will be the 2 drivers who will enter in the race in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 88 car for Junior Motorsports. That's right. I think by 2024, we're going to see Junior Motorsports make select starts. Now, Junior Motorsports has been teasing on and off for the last few seasons. They've been looking at going cup racing. They said maybe they'll do it in 2022, then maybe they'll do it in 2023. But I think they're finally going to enter the Cup Series in 2024 and run select starts with Josh Berry, Justin Allgaier, and Brandon Jones. 3 of the 4 drivers currently driving for the Junior Motorsports organization. All 2 of them have Cup Series experience. Brandon Jones does not have Cup experience, but I think Brandon Jones will get some Cup experience in 2024. He's got the Menard sponsorship funding, which I think will be a big reason, and I also think they've got a chance of acquiring a charter. But if not, I think they just enter a few select starts in 2024, and I think that's what's going to happen in 2024 for Junior Motorsports. Up next, we're talking about the 91 car for Trackhouse Racing, a.k.a. the Project 91 car. So obviously the Project 91 car in 2023 is going to run a select number of races with international drivers. I think they're going to continue doing that in 2024. And I think the drivers are as follows: Julio Castroneves, Shane Van Gisbergen, Kimi Räikkönen, Brady Kostecki, Scott McLaughlin, Sebastian Vettel will be among the drivers who will race in this Project 91 car. This car is an opportunity to give these young drivers, these drivers from other forms of racing who would never give an opportunity in NASCAR, a chance to drive in a very competitive car. And I think that's who will be among the drivers who will enter this car. But I think those will be the drivers who are racing for Project 91 in 2024. Up next, we're talking about the 77 car for 2311 Racing. 2311 Racing, I anticipate, is going to end up running a third car on a part-time basis, likely for Kurt Busch. I think they're bringing the number 97 back, and I think they're going to have Kurt Busch in 2024 run a few races, but I also think that Sammy Smith, yes, heard that right, I think Sammy Smith is going to make select Cup Series starts for 2311 Racing. Sammy Smith is expected to drive the 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity Series in 2023. He will only be 19 years of age at the start of the 2024 season. But Sammy Smith is a very talented driver, and I think he's going to be a championship threat in Xfinity Series. So I think he'll be driving the 97 for 2311 Racing in a few select Cup Series races. And finally, we're talking about the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. While nothing's confirmed, I anticipate that Daniel Suarez is going to get an extension. Suarez only signed a one-year contract with the team through 2023. But I think Suarez is going to remain with the team long-term. He's been the first driver of the team and the main guy and the main brand of the organization. So Suarez will stay long-term with the organization, stay long-term with the brand, and continue driving that illustrious number 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. A driver that's been very good for the organization. He will do fascinating things and continue driving the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. So, that is for today's special Saturday video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications on, to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and for me on Patreon as well. Links to description below that, and comment below your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about my 2024 NASCAR Cup Series driver lineup predictions? Let me know your predictions for 2024 in the comments below. Tomorrow on my channel, we're going to have a double upload day on the channel. The first video that is going to be coming out on the channel is going to be the F1 driver lineup for 2023, as that has been confirmed. And then I'll have another update video on a potential announcement coming very, very soon. And then Monday's either going to be a team preview on the channel or a special little project that might be coming out that I might be excited to share with you guys. We've got other special content on the way as we close out 2022. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.